Alex lived in the small town of Harmony Creek, a place better known for its annual pie-eating contest than its groundbreaking inventions. He was a whirlwind of energy and ideas, constantly tinkering in his garage-turned-laboratory. Wires snaked across the floor, tools lay scattered on the workbench, and half-finished contraptions hummed with potential. Alex wasn't like the other kids in Harmony Creek. While they were playing baseball or riding bikes, he was busy building robots out of old toasters or designing self-watering plant systems. His mind was a never-ending fountain of innovation. He saw problems everywhere and immediately set about trying to solve them. A leaky faucet? Time for an automated patching device. Difficulty reaching the top shelf? A spring-loaded extending grabber was the obvious solution. But his inventions weren't always met with enthusiasm. More often than not, his creations sputtered, sparked, or simply failed to work as intended. His parents, while supportive, often sighed at the clutter and the occasional small explosion. His classmates just didn't get it. They'd snicker and call him Professor behind his back, and his inventions were usually met with rolled eyes and shrugs. Alex often felt like a lone star in a cloudy sky, his bright ideas dimmed by the lack of understanding around him. Discouragement was a constant companion, whispering doubts in his ear. Was he wasting his time? Should he just give up and be normal? The weight of unappreciated genius was starting to feel heavy indeed. But even with the doubts swirling in his mind, Alex couldn't shake the urge to create. His latest project was a machine he called the Ecomatic 3000. It was a large, somewhat clunky device made from recycled washing machine parts, repurposed vacuum cleaner hoses, and a whole lot of ingenuity. The Ecomatic 3000 was designed to clean the polluted creek that ran behind Harmony Creek. The creek was once a beautiful, clear stream, but over the years, it had become choked with trash and chemicals from the nearby factory. Alex believed his invention could filter the water, removing the pollutants and restoring the creek to its former glory. He spent weeks tinkering with the Ecomatic 3000, adjusting the filters, calibrating the pumps, and testing the water samples. He worked tirelessly, fueled by peanut butter sandwiches and the unwavering hope that he could make a difference. He envisioned children playing by the clean creek, families picnicking on its banks, and the return of the wildlife that had disappeared. This wasn't just about building another gadget. It was about making his town a better place. He even added a little feature that would release bubbles into the water after the cleaning process, just for fun. He knew it was a long shot. The Ecomatic 3000 was ambitious, and he was just a kid with a dream. But he had to try. He had to show everyone that his ideas mattered and that even a small-town inventor could change the world. The Ecomatic 3000 represented more than just a machine. It represented Alex's hope, his determination, and his unwavering belief in the power of innovation. The day finally arrived when Alex felt the Ecomatic 3000 was ready for its grand debut. He proudly wheeled the machine down to the banks of the polluted creek, his heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had invited the town council, local business owners, and even some of his classmates to witness the demonstration. As he connected the power cord and flipped the switch, the Ecomatic 3000 sputtered to life, making a series of loud gurgling and whirring noises. A few curious onlookers gathered around, but most remained skeptical, arms crossed and eyebrows raised. Alex began his presentation, explaining how the machine worked and the positive impact it could have on the community. He spoke with passion and conviction, his voice filled with hope. But as the demonstration progressed, things didn't go exactly as planned. The water that came out of the filter was slightly cleaner, but not as dramatically as Alex had hoped. A strange, green foam started to accumulate on the surface of the creek, and the machine began to emit a high-pitched squeal. One of the town council members chuckled. "Well, that's certainly something." A few of Alex's classmates started to snicker, and even some of the adults couldn't help but stifle a laugh. Alex's face flushed with embarrassment. He had worked so hard, but it seemed like his invention was just another failure. The business owners shook their heads, muttering about wasted time and resources. The town council members exchanged disapproving glances. The general atmosphere shifted from skepticism to outright ridicule. Alex felt his dreams crumbling around him, the weight of disappointment crushing his spirit. He quickly shut down the Ecomatic 3000, his shoulders slumped in defeat. He quietly wheeled his invention back home, the laughter of the town echoing in his ears. Back in his garage, surrounded by the remnants of his failed experiment, Alex felt utterly dejected. The Ecomatic 3000 stood silent and still, a monument to his shattered dreams. He slumped onto his workbench, burying his face in his hands. The laughter and jeers of the townspeople echoed in his mind, each one a painful reminder of his failure. His grandpa, a retired carpenter with kind eyes and a gentle smile, found him there. Grandpa Joe had always been Alex's biggest supporter, patiently listening to his ideas and offering words of encouragement. He sat down beside Alex, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Rough day, huh?" he asked softly. Alex nodded, his voice muffled. "It was a disaster, Grandpa. The machine didn't work, and everyone laughed at me." Grandpa Joe sighed. "Well, inventing isn't always easy, Alex. It's full of bumps and bruises. Even the greatest inventors face setbacks." He paused, his eyes twinkling. "Did I ever tell you about Thomas Edison? He failed thousands of times before he finally invented the light bulb." Alex looked up, intrigued. "Thousands?" "Yep," Grandpa Joe replied. "He didn't give up, though. He learned from each failure and kept trying." "And what about the Wright brothers? People thought they were crazy for trying to fly. They crashed their gliders countless times, but they kept experimenting until they finally soared through the sky." He continued, "The important thing is to learn from your mistakes, Alex, and never lose your passion. Every great invention started with an idea, and every idea faces challenges. It's how you overcome those challenges that matters." Grandpa Joe squeezed Alex's shoulder. "Don't let a little laughter stop you from changing the world, son. You've got a good heart and a bright mind. Don't waste them." The next few days were a blur of self-doubt and tinkering. Alex tried to focus on Grandpa Joe's advice, but the sting of failure lingered. He disassembled the Ecomatic 3000, meticulously examining each part, trying to identify where he had gone wrong. He made notes, sketched diagrams, and brainstormed new solutions. But his heart wasn't really in it. One afternoon, while Alex was half-heartedly sorting through a box of old transistors, the mailman arrived. Among the usual bills and junk mail, there was a thick envelope addressed to Alexander Peterson, in elegant, official-looking lettering. The return address was simply the White House, Washington, D.C. Alex stared at the envelope in disbelief. The White House? For him? He carefully opened it, his hands trembling slightly. Inside, nestled between two sheets of heavy, cream-colored paper, was a letter. The letterhead bore the presidential seal, and at the bottom was a signature, John F. Kennedy. Alex's eyes widened. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. A letter from the President of the United States? What could it possibly say? He took a deep breath and began to read, his heart pounding with anticipation. The world around him seemed to fade away as he focused on the words on the page, each sentence a spark igniting a flame of hope within him. This was completely unexpected, a beacon of light in the darkness of his recent disappointment. He felt a surge of excitement, a feeling he hadn't experienced since he first conceived the idea for the Ecomatic 3000. This letter, from the President himself, could change everything. The letter began, "My dear Alexander, I am writing to you today because I have heard about your remarkable efforts to improve your community through innovation. I understand you have been working on a device to clean up the creek in Harmony Creek, and while I also understand that the road to innovation is often paved with challenges, your dedication to solving problems is truly inspiring. Our nation needs young people like you, Alexander, bright, inquisitive minds who are not afraid to dream big and tackle tough challenges. The future of our country, and indeed the world, depends on the ingenuity and creativity of young people like yourself. Star. Asterisk never let setbacks discourage you. Every great inventor, every groundbreaking discovery, has come about through perseverance and a willingness to learn from mistakes. Embrace the challenges, see them as opportunities for growth, and never stop believing in your ability to make a difference. Star. Asterisk I urge you to continue pursuing your dreams, Alexander. Keep tinkering, keep inventing, and keep striving to make the world a better place. Your efforts, no matter how small they may seem, have the potential to inspire others and create lasting change. Star. With best wishes for your continued success. Sincerely, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States. Alex read the letter again and again, each time absorbing the president's words of encouragement. He felt a surge of energy coursing through him, washing away the doubt and replacing it with renewed determination. President Kennedy believed in him. He saw potential in Alex's ideas, even if the town of Harmony Creek didn't. This letter was more than just words on paper. It was a call to action, an invitation to continue pursuing his dreams with even greater passion. Alex carefully placed the letter back in its envelope, handling it with the utmost care. He ran to show it to Grandpa Joe, bursting through the door of his workshop with the excitement of a rocket launch. "Grandpa! Grandpa! You won't believe this!" Alex exclaimed, waving the envelope in the air. Grandpa Joe looked up from his woodworking project, a smile spreading across his face. "What is it, Alex? You look like you've just won the lottery." Alex handed him the letter, his eyes shining. "It's even better than that. It's a letter from President Kennedy." Grandpa Joe took the letter, his eyebrows raised in surprise. He carefully read it, his smile widening with each sentence. When he finished, he looked at Alex with pride. "Well, I'll be," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "The President of the United States thinks you're special, Alex. And you know what? He's right." Grandpa Joe's words, combined with the President's encouragement, solidified Alex's resolve. He was no longer just a kid tinkering in his garage. He was a young inventor with a purpose, a mission to make the world a better place. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to face the challenges head-on. He immediately went back to his garage, a newfound energy fueling his every move. He retrieved his notes and diagrams for the Ecomatic 3000, his mind buzzing with ideas. He was determined to learn from his mistakes and create an even better version of his invention. The President's letter had not only lifted his spirits, but had also given him the confidence to believe in himself and his abilities. He was ready to get back to work. Instead of simply rebuilding the Ecomatic 3000 as it was, Alex decided to take a more scientific approach. He devoured books on water filtration, consulted with online forums dedicated to environmental science, and even wrote a letter to a professor at a nearby university, explaining his project and asking for advice. The professor, impressed by Alex's initiative, sent him a detailed response with suggestions for improving the machine's design and efficiency. He recommended using specific types of filters, adjusting the flow rate of the water, and incorporating a more effective method for removing pollutants. Alex eagerly implemented the professor's suggestions, spending hours modifying the Ecomatic 3000. He replaced the makeshift filters with professional-grade ones, adjusted the pump system for optimal water flow, and added a new compartment for chemical neutralization. He even designed a system to monitor the water quality in real time, providing valuable data on the machine's performance. This time, Alex wasn't just relying on intuition, he was using science and data to guide his efforts. He also decided that instead of immediately showcasing it to the entire town, he'd focus on smaller, controlled tests. He set up a mini-creek environment in his garage, using collected water samples to rigorously test the Ecomatic 3000's capabilities. He kept JFK's letter pinned above his workbench, a constant reminder of the President's belief in him. When doubts crept in, he would read the letter again, drawing strength from the President's words and pushing himself to keep going. The laughter and skepticism of the townspeople still lingered in the back of his mind, but they no longer held the same power. Alex knew that he was on the right track, and he was determined to prove them wrong. The results of Alex's rigorous testing were promising. The Ecomatic 3000 was now significantly more effective at removing pollutants, and the water quality readings were consistently improving. The green foam was gone, and the machine operated much more quietly and efficiently. With renewed confidence, Alex decided it was time to share his invention with a wider audience. He remembered seeing a poster for the regional science fair at school and decided to enter. It was a long shot, but he figured it was worth a try. He carefully prepared his presentation, creating charts and graphs to showcase the Ecomatic 3000's performance. He also wrote a detailed report explaining the science behind his invention and the potential benefits it could have for the environment. In addition to the science fair, Alex also decided to reach out to the professor who had given him advice. He sent the professor a detailed report on his progress, along with photos and videos of the Ecomatic 3000 in action. He hoped that the professor would be impressed and perhaps offer him an opportunity to showcase his invention at the university. While he waited for responses from the science fair committee and the professor, Alex continued to refine the Ecomatic 3000. He added new features, such as a solar-powered battery and a remote control system. He was determined to make his invention the best it could be, not just for himself, but for the community and the environment. He even started thinking about other inventions he could create to solve other problems in Harmony Creek. The president's letter had unlocked a wellspring of creativity within him, and he was eager to explore its full potential. He was no longer just cleaning a creek, he was building a future. The first response Alex received was a rejection from the science fair. The committee explained that they had limited space and that his project, while impressive, didn't quite fit the theme of this year's fair. Alex was disappointed, but he refused to let it discourage him. He knew that rejection was a part of the process, and he remembered President Kennedy's words about perseverance. A few days later, he received an email from the professor. The professor was incredibly impressed with Alex's work and invited him to present the Ecomatic 3000 at a special showcase for young inventors at the university. Alex was ecstatic. This was an amazing opportunity to share his invention with a knowledgeable audience and potentially gain valuable feedback and support. However, there was a catch. The showcase was only a week away, and Alex had to find a way to transport the Ecomatic 3000 to the university, which was several hours away. The machine was too large to fit in his family's car, and he didn't have the money to rent a truck. He turned to Grandpa Joe for help. Grandpa Joe, always resourceful, suggested that they build a special trailer to transport the machine. Together, they spent the next few days working tirelessly in Grandpa Joe's workshop, constructing a sturdy trailer out of wood and metal scraps. It was a challenging task, but Alex and Grandpa Joe worked as a team, supporting each other and overcoming every obstacle. Finally, the trailer was complete, and the Ecomatic 3000 was safely secured. Alex was ready for his presentation at the university, filled with excitement and gratitude for Grandpa Joe's unwavering support. He knew there would be more challenges ahead, but he was confident that he could overcome them, thanks to the encouragement of President Kennedy and the love of his grandpa. He was ready to show the world what he could do. The university showcase was a resounding success. Alex presented the Ecomatic 3000 with confidence and clarity, explaining the science behind his invention and demonstrating its effectiveness in cleaning polluted water. The audience, comprised of professors, students, and industry experts, was impressed by Alex's ingenuity and passion. Several professors offered Alex mentorship opportunities, and a local environmental organization expressed interest in funding his project. The university even featured Alex and the Ecomatic 3000 in a press release, which was picked up by local news outlets. Suddenly, Alex was no longer the ridiculed professor of Harmony Creek. He was a celebrated young inventor. The local newspaper ran a front-page story about him, highlighting his dedication to cleaning up the creek and his inspiring journey of perseverance. The town council, who had once dismissed his ideas, now praised him for his innovation and vision. The attention didn't stop there. A national science magazine featured Alex in its Young Innovators section, showcasing the Ecomatic 3000 and its potential to address water pollution issues across the country. Alex received letters from students and inventors from all over the nation, praising his work and seeking his advice. Even President Kennedy's office reached out, congratulating Alex on his success and inviting him to visit the White House to discuss his invention further. Alex was overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. His dreams were finally coming true, and he was making a real difference in the world. The Ecomatic 3000 was not just cleaning the creek. It was cleaning up Alex's reputation and proving that even a small-town inventor could achieve great things. The world was finally starting to see the value in his ideas. Alex's visit to the White House was an unforgettable experience. He met with President Kennedy and his advisors, sharing his vision for a cleaner and healthier environment. He even demonstrated the Ecomatic 3000 on a small scale, showcasing its effectiveness in removing pollutants. President Kennedy was deeply impressed by Alex's dedication and ingenuity. He pledged his support for Alex's project and encouraged him to continue pursuing his dreams. He even suggested that Alex consider starting a non-profit organization to promote environmental awareness and innovation among young people. Inspired by President Kennedy's vision, Alex returned to Harmony Creek with a renewed sense of purpose. He worked tirelessly to improve the Ecomatic 3000, making it even more efficient and accessible. He also started working with local schools and community groups to educate young people about the importance of environmental stewardship. Within a few years, the creek in Harmony Creek was completely transformed. The water was clean and clear, the wildlife had returned, and the community thrived. Alex's invention had not only cleaned up the creek but had also revitalized the town, creating a healthier and more vibrant place to live. The Ecomatic 3000 became a model for other communities facing similar environmental challenges. Alex traveled the country, sharing his knowledge and expertise, helping other towns and cities clean up their polluted waterways. He had achieved his dream of making a positive impact on the world, and he knew that it all started with that unexpected letter from President Kennedy. The letter was the turning point, the spark that ignited his passion and gave him the strength to persevere, even when faced with doubt and ridicule. He knew he would never forget the president's kindness and encouragement, and he was determined to live up to his expectations. Years later, Alex became a renowned inventor and environmental advocate, traveling the world to share his story and inspire young people to pursue their dreams. He often visited schools and universities, giving speeches and workshops, encouraging students to embrace innovation and use their talents to solve the world's pressing problems. He always carried a copy of President Kennedy's letter with him, sharing it with every audience as a testament to the power of belief and encouragement. He would explain how the president's words had transformed his life, giving him the confidence to overcome obstacles and achieve his goals. "Never underestimate the impact you can have on the world," he would say, his voice filled with passion. "Every great invention started with an idea, and every idea has the potential to change the world. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Believe in yourself, persevere through challenges, and never give up on your dreams." He also established a foundation to support young inventors, providing them with resources, mentorship, and funding to develop their ideas. He wanted to create a world where every young person had the opportunity to pursue their passions and make a positive impact on society. Back in his workshop in Harmony Creek, Alex kept the original letter from President Kennedy framed on his wall, right above his workbench. It served as a constant reminder of the president's belief in him and the power of encouragement. Whenever he faced a difficult challenge or felt discouraged, he would look at the letter and remember the president's words. "Keep tinkering, keep inventing, and keep striving to make the world a better place." And that's exactly what he continued to do, inspiring generations of young inventors to follow in his footsteps and change the world, one invention at a time.